Yep, that's fine. Okay. This is fine. This seat is fine. Running map both of your eyes. Or you, as well as giving you the potential penalties. I know you've had a chance to speak with counsel. Is that correct, sir?
Yes.
All right. In the first charge, you're charged with aggravated murder in violation of Ohio Revised Code 2903.01. It states that on or about the 22nd day of July, you did purposely cause the death of an unidentified female while committing another felony. The offense was committed 1 week to 9 months prior to the finding of the body. That is a Jane Doe murder. The second murder is the same date, on or about the 22nd day of July. Michael Madison did purposely cause the death of an Angela Deskins while committing another felony. The offense was committed 3 weeks or a few weeks prior to the finding of the body. And then there's a third murder charge. On or about the 22nd day of July, Michael Madison did purposely cause the death of an unidentified female while committing another felony. The offense was committed 1 week to 1 month prior to the finding of the body. All of those are felonies of the first degree because they are aggravated murder. They are punishable by a possible death or life in prison and a $100,000 fine. You understand that?
Yes.
There are also 3 additional charges of kidnapping. The complaint states that on or about the 19th day of July, Michael Madison did knowingly force, threat, or deception, use of deception, restrain Angela Deskins of her liberty with a purpose to terrorize, inflict serious physical harm, and purposely cause the death of Angela Deskins. This offense was committed weeks prior to finding the body. That is kidnapping. That's a felony of the first degree. There's also a second charge of kidnapping where it states that on the 19th day of July, Michael Madison did knowingly force, threaten, or use deception to restrain a Jane Doe of her liberty with the purpose to terrorize, inflict serious physical harm, and purposely cause the death of that Jane Doe. This offense was committed 1 week to 1 month prior to the finding of a body. And then there's a third charge of kidnapping stating that on or about the 19th day of July, Michael Madison did knowingly force, threaten, or use deception to restrain a Jane Doe of her liberty with the purpose to terrorize, inflict serious physical harm, and purposely cause the death of that Jane Doe. This offense was committed 1 week to 9 months prior to the finding of the body. Those are felonies of the first degree, punishable by up to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10 years in prison, and up to a $25,000 fine for each one. You understand that?
Yes.
Mr. Madison, you have the right to counsel, and obviously you've had a chance to speak with counsel now. According to the criminal rules in Ohio, if you cannot afford an attorney, we will make sure that one is provided to you at no cost to you. I must also advise you that other than just acknowledging what I've read to you, you need not make any statements, because any statement that you make could be used against you. Also, with this being a felony, your case will not be heard in this particular court. What will happen is you have an automatic right to a preliminary hearing. At that preliminary hearing, the prosecution must prove that an offense was committed and that you're likely the person who committed it. And if that is your desire, we will set a date for that particular hearing. But you can also waive that hearing, and that's why we've given you the assistance of counsel to make that decision. Keep in mind, if the prosecution is unable to establish either of the above elements, that an offense was committed and that you're likely the person who committed it, the charges would be dismissed against you. However, the prosecutors may also take this directly to the grand jury. It's also important to know whether or not you waive or establish a probable cause hearing where you are found to be likely the person who committed these crimes. This case will be transferred to the Cuyahoga County court for their further proceedings. You understand that? Because it will not take place here, so you'll go down to Cuyahoga County. And also, it's important to know that because this is a felony, you don't have to enter a plea at this time. The only question that I need to have answered is whether or not you would like to have a preliminary hearing. And we will set a bond for you at this time also. Ms. Ridenour, I understand you are representing the defendant, Mr. Madison, at this time.
Yes, Your Honor.
Has he decided whether or not he's going to have a preliminary hearing?
He'd like to waive his hearing, Your Honor.
Okay. The court will note that the preliminary hearing has been waived, and because counsel is present, the assumption is that that's been made intelligently and at your own will. At this time, the bond that's going to be set will be $1 million per count. So there are 6 counts, 6 charges, so your bond is going to be $6 million. You understand that? If there's no other business before the court, we will conclude this matter understanding that the preliminary hearing has been waived. What will happen now is you will be transferred to the county as well as this entire case. All right? Thank you. Court is adjourned.
You want to go in and jump